Hello everyone, welcome to Sustainable Solar Home Construction. This is footage from July 2012 and here we go. We've got the electrical conduit going from the power pole to the home. We are going to do a grid-tied application after all. You can see the conduit coming up at the right along with the telephone conduit and pressure switch for the cistern.
Those are stubbed out, ready to go to the well. And then we have the cistern electrical for the float sensor, and then of course the 1-inch CPVC water line. They come along here, and there's where the water goes into the house, and then at the coming out this side with the valves, those are my cistern drains, and then everything comes down here. The drains go down there. I got to hook up one more piece of 3/4 CPVC, and then the electrical, the float sensor, and the well water line come here, and then ultimately they will run over there to the well pump head, which you can see right over there. So that's electrical. It's July 5th.
Okay, here's the north porch now. We are working on our foundation wrap. This is where we run plastic, 6mm plastic around the foundation, and then you can see Matt there, my stepson. He's putting out the foam board. It graduates from 4 inches near the house out to 2 and then to possibly 1 inch. We wrap the foundation with plastic foam and then a top layer of plastic that you can see there, and then we backfill the house with 12 to 24 inches of dirt. And you can see Ken on the trackhoe there moving a lot of dirt. We moved up about 49 dump truck loads from our lower piece of property to backfill around the house. So I'm in there shoveling and Ken's moving a lot of dirt, and we're just bringing the house up to grade around the exterior of the house, and that insulates, of course, all this thermal mass of the dirt, where we can store energy under, not only under the house, but around the outside of the house, so that in the winter we'll pull the warm air that's been stored in this dirt, and then in the summer we'll pull the cool air that's been stored in the dirt, as the winter will have sucked out all the heating energy. So it's an interesting system called passive annual heat storage. And here's the final product with the north side of the house brought up to grade under the porch and along the entire north side. And we're working our way around the house, which means we have plumbing to do on the south side. Here's our gray water and black water. It splits, and then there's diverter valves, so I can divert the gray water.
Okay, here's the plumbing outside. That's the septic, going over to the septic tank. And here we have the split between the black water and the gray water. Those are the inspection tubes. Those are the valves to direct the flow. And here we have our gray water coming off with the planter bed feed there, and comes out of the house there. And then that'll go out and around, and that'll water our fruit trees. So there you have it. Signing off.
Yep, and that's a pretty cool system. You can see there the house, you can see the inspection covers that will go over each of those diverter valves, and then we have those two-way cleanouts coming up actually. And now we're ready to wrap the house on the south side. We've got our plastic down, we've got 4-inch foam boards next to the house, then we got 2-inch foam boards and then 1-inch foam boards on the very end for 16 feet out from the house of insulation. Foundation wrap will put down 6mm plastic over that, and now you can see Ken on the grader there pushing dirt and backfilling. And here's just a little active footage of us backfilling. Again, we moved so much dirt, it's unbelievable. But I'm just there kind of packing it in around the cleanouts and those inspection tubes for the diverter valves next to the house, and just kind of directing Ken as he moves the dirt. Yep, and of course this is all angled gradually away from the house because we want to insulate the dirt and protect it from getting wet as well. This will be one well-insulated, well-protected foundation when we're done. We were doing this in 100-degree heat. I mean, it was hot. And here's the final product. Boy, it looks great. No more walking on rocks around the house. The foundation wrap has been backfilled. Everything is nice and level and even. It's wonderful. Okay, we move on to putting the beams on this is the Arizona room that looks west off the house. These are 15-foot long 6x10 beams. They are heavy. We've got them sealed. We put clear sealer on there. They're dug for number 1 beams. And we've got Zane with his boom truck in there, dropping beams on both the Arizona room side, and later we'll see the front porch as well. But we're just dropping these babies on. We secure them with rebar spikes. We put fresh concrete in the top cell and a half on everywhere where the beam sits. And then, again, I fill that top cell with fresh concrete. We drop the beams on, and then I pound rebar through the beam into that fresh concrete. And then you can bend the rebar over, and it makes a very easy to install good connection there. And there you can see the beams on. We've got, he dropped in the beams, the pressure-treated beam as well there. And here's the front porch. We're going to be dropping beams on there as well. We've got 18-foot long. Oh well, first I got to put my post on. Okay, so this is ponderosa pine right off the property. With the fire damage we had, there's no short supply of logs that I can use. I created those corbels out of 6x10 stock, just with a chainsaw basically. Now I've got a belt sander. I'm just sanding that top of the post smooth, and the post sits on a stud with a nut and washer on the bottom so I can adjust it up and down. Right now I've got it triangulated with 2x4s into place where it's vertical, and now I'm making sure it's level horizontally around the top of the post, and then I will put on the full corbel and get ready to drop on the beams. You can see my string line there. We want it level. I've already adjusted the string line for level, and then of course we need it in plane too. We want all the corbels to be even with the length of the beam, the 6x10 that we're going to drop on. So I've got my 6x10 corbel. And just going to set that right on there. And of course I'll check that for level as well with my level. There you go. Feeling pretty good about it. You can see that door right down there. That door on the wall is actually for wood storage, so we can have some wood stored without having to go out in the weather. And here we go. You can see the string line in there. I've got my 2 half corbels and full corbel, my post. Now we've got the beam on. Zane has dropped on the beams, and here we go. This time I'm just drilled my hole, and I'm just hammering a piece of 1/2-inch rebar through the beam into the corbel. The corbel is attached to the concrete blocks below it. As I said before, when I put it on, I put fresh concrete in there, and then I rebar that, put a rebar through the corbel into the block, and now I'm rebarring the post into the corbel. So that's how it goes. Works real good. There we go. Touchdown. Alright, here's a shot of all the beams. You can see the pressure treated above the opening there. That's for a bottle wall to the left, and the 2 big beams are about 17, close to 18 feet long, 6x10s. Now, we need a lot of beams, logs, we call them vigas, to go across from beam to beam over the front porch. So here I am peeling 9 logs. The bark's already off. Again, you can see the fire damage in the back. One of the blessings of that is it has allowed the wood to season since last September, about a year, and the bark comes off easy, and now I'm just peeling off the cambium layer to get a nice clean peel, and then I do put clear sealer over these. So it's a lot of fun. We're using the wood that's burned in the forest, and here we go. We've got, well, I don't have them all done there. Got 6, 7, a couple more to peel. And then on the left-hand side, you can see all the long ones that are going to go over the Arizona room. Now, here I am installing the vigas. I drill holes through the viga into the 6x10 on both sides, and then I lag bolt them down with large 1/2-inch lag bolts long. And then I use washers to just tweak them to get them level we need these in this particular application to all be level and in plane on both sides. So I put some 1x material under this side, the side with the shorter or the narrower side of the logs. You can see it sitting, the logs are sitting on that 1x above the beam there. But that's the finished product there. Looks good. I'm starting to mask off because now I'm going to build the parapet, which goes around and above these log ends. And of course, this is very southwestern. Here I am. I've got my concrete block in between each viga, and I'm filling in between the blocks and around the vigas with concrete. This is the beginning of a lot of free-formed concrete work that I'm going to do on this front porch. A little bit on the Arizona room, but you'll see in the coming weeks that we're going to do a lot of concrete. Lots of smooth, round edges, beautiful, soft contours and curves. Again, very much a southwestern style Adobe type house. We don't have Adobe up here. We can't get blocks, so we use concrete blocks. They're readily available, fairly inexpensive, easy to work with. So, here we go. Now that little indentation there, you can see on the right hand side still, is for a niche. At any rate, here we go laying up the bond beam block. We're going to run a bond beam across the top here, but I'm pounding rebar into the 6x10. That will go up through these concrete blocks to provide another connection to the beam. We of course don't want them falling off. I don't know if they would or not, but it's all rebarred horizontally and vertically, creating a very strong parapet. And now I continue the fun of carrying whatever these 30-35 pound blocks up the ladder and placing them on the parapet. Okay, and at the very end when I get all these blocks in fact you can see in the corner there the rebar comes around. These will all have a horizontal piece of rebar going along the top of this parapet in the bond beam. These are bond beam blocks. The ends are cut out to allow the rebar to sit in there. That's coming along. Okay, now here's a form I've put up. I'm going to begin doing a lot of the free-form concrete work to create smooth, round contours over these blocks. And there you can see it. It's my first one. Came out real good according to my pattern and picture that I have drawn. And lastly, you can see the cisterns were just delivered. We have a 2,500 gallon for rainwater and a 1,000 for well water, and we'll talk more about that in the future. So I hope you'll join us, continue to watch. We've got a lot of great stuff coming up, and thanks so much.